Superboy Annual Number 1, written by Tom DeFalco, art by Tom Derenick, Yvel Guichet, and Iban Coelho. So, in Superboy number 16, Superman got abducted into a pocket dimension and Superboy went in after him. And this issue is just, how do they get out of that? And we see Superboy is all wonky, like they're not in a place where three-dimensional makes any sense. And he comes across Superman and just like, hey, I'm here to rescue you. Although I don't know how to get out, so could you maybe rescue me? And Superman's like, all right, I really would have preferred you didn't, but whatever, we'll figure it out. And then Superboy goes through his whole goddamn origin of how we get here and everything like that. Doesn't matter. And at this point, we see somebody is looking upon Superboy and Superman just like, they might have a way to get out of here. We need to run some tests on them. So he opens up a portal and sucks them in. And then we go back to Batman, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg, who are like, hey, that thing just abducted Superman. Cyborg, interface with it. And he's like, okay. And he puts his hand on it, is immediately blown away. And Batman's like, dude, you suck. Cyborg's like, yeah. Anyway, we should probably focus on Hell and Supergirl, who are about to blow up the whole solar system. Anyway, back inside, they come out of the portal. Superboy's freaking out, and Superman's like, this place looks like a farm. Why are we in an alien farm? Anyway, let's go figure out what we need to go do. There's some houses over in that direction. And I just want to say, for the sake of this issue, the entire time there's this running gag that Superboy cannot stop being quippy and sarcastic, and Superman keeps on calling him out, just being like, can you just take things seriously for once in your life? And he's like, no. It keeps happening. Either way, they don't have their full power set here, or at least Superman doesn't, so they have to do leaps and bounds in order to get where they're going instead of flying directly. But as they're leaping and bounding, they're talking about their history, and Superman's like, I was born in a farm around here. How about you, Superboy? He's like, I was born a living weapon for some place called Nowhere for a creature named Harvest. And Superman's like, tell me more about this Harvest. But then they get attacked by the planet itself in the form of giant soil fists. And so they start running away from it. The fists evolve into larger creatures. Superman starts blasting it with heat vision. Superboy's using his TK abilities on it, but he's like, hey, do you feel like the ground is screaming a little bit? And Superman's like, no, what does that even mean? What are you talking about? Until finally they get to this tower thing. Superman tries to punch his way in, and Superboy's like, yeah, sometimes punching isn't always the answer. So he uses his telekinetic ability to basically hack his way in, but the people who are watching are like, oh, they passed test number 1. They show great possibilities. Let's put him in test number 2. So they open up the door, fall into another portal, and on the other side is seemingly like a dead future sort of thing. And Superboy's like, this is kind of like the world that Harvest wants. And Superman's like, remind me to check in on Harvest. He kind of seems like a big deal. Anyway, and the other thing is, Superman keeps on getting on Superboy for sarcasm, but Superboy keeps getting on Superman for lectures. So yeah. Anyway, more things start attacking them, and they're all coming from the soil, and Superboy's like, okay, but like, I'm really feeling like the ground is a thing here. I'm just going to check that out. And Superman's like, that's stupid. We need to find the portal. He's like, let me check it out. So he uses his telekinetic on the ground, and he's focusing, and he's like, I can feel a consciousness in the planet. Like, the whole planet is a consciousness. There's something going on. It's in pain. I'm trying to talk to it. We're not your enemy. Let us help you, please. And so it believes Superboy, and all of the dirt things that are attacking them disappear. And Superman's like, okay, don't know what happened, but sounds good. And at that point, the people who are watching them are like, oh my God, they can do it. They can get us out of here. That's literally the last thing we need. Open up the next warp. And so they open up this hatch. Superboy and Superman go down into it, and they're brought to the third place. But first we get Hell and Supergirl setting up their big star thing, whatever. And Hell's like, I don't feel Superman literally anywhere on this planet. That's weird. Guess he got scared. The rest of the Justice League here, though, and they're not really anything we need to worry about, so let's continue building. So they get down to the third place, which is called the Fields Forlorn, and we see these two people who are watching them are prisoners in here, because this whole place, forgot to mention, is a prison made by a guy named, I can't remember, Carso, I believe. And he's like, hey, we are political prisoners. We are totally innocent. We just dared speak up against Carso. And Superman's like, that's weird, because you look exactly like Carso's megalomaniacal brother named Blastor. And Blastor's like, oh, darn, you got me. I'm not even going to put up a fight to that. Anyway, let us fight, and the boy will let us out of our prison. And Superman's like, I don't think he can do that. And Superboy's like, I can kind of do that, but we shouldn't do that. So big fight breaks out. They keep on arguing, blah, 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 until finally Superboy's like, hey, wait a minute. Okay. Hell is out there, and he's possibly about to blow up the world. We've been in here for a while. We need to just let this guy out. We'll get out as well, and then we can pick him back up later. No big deal. And Superman's like, no, we're not going to, I don't make deals like that. And Superboy's like, fine, whatever, I'll figure something out. So he thinks for a minute, and he talks to the planet, and he's like, hey, planet, we can't let these monsters call the shots, but we need to do this. So whatever is stopping you from, by the way, I forgot to mention, because this is a story that jumps around a lot. The Blastor is apparently using this planet, which was a peaceful creature meant to like help things heal, and it's being used as a prison now, and it hates every second of it. Okay, so he's telling the planet, like, look, I'll help you override your subroutines or whatever, so you can stop being a prison and start being the thing that you need to be. So the planet opens up a warp, it sucks out Blastor and his girlfriend, and Superman's like, I thought we said we weren't going to free him. And Superboy's like, I didn't free them back home. I freed them on the far reaches of an uninhabited galaxy in the middle of an asteroid field. They have no way of getting off that. They are stuck there. And Superman's like, all right, yeah, I'm okay with that. Anyway, let's get out of here ourselves. So they start wiping clean, and then we see the Justice League standing there like, okay, so if Superman's going to be off the table, what's the plan now, Batman? And then the thing opens up, and Superman and Superboy come out, and he's like, hey, how long were we gone? It's like, about 2 minutes. And it's like, oh, cool, Narnia time. Well, let's get back to hell on Earth. And we see that Hell and Supergirl have finished building the thing they need to build. I don't particularly like it. It's such like a filler thing that I feel the only purpose was to endear Superboy and Superman together. And I guess I get it, but it's so strange of it. Like, it had to go to a pocket dimension where quite literally nothing mattered. And we met some villains that don't matter. And like, it's technically a Hell on Earth tie-in, but it's not. It doesn't matter. So I'm not a fan of it, I guess is the easiest way to say. Art-wise, looks good. Very fanciful in some places. It's just plot. Like, nothing felt, as soon as they entered a pocket dimension, it's like, okay, so you can literally do anything and nothing here will matter. And it seems like that's the case. So I'm going to give it a 6, and any positive on that is the art being good and the fact of I do like Superboy and Superman being endeared to each other, that they have maybe not a friendship, but at least they understand each other. That's something. But I would rather my oversized annuals tying into events have something to do with the event.